Those who are present in the last week, I'll request you that you summarize some points which you recollect some points which you remember or would have written in your notes, and then we'll go ahead with the discussion of the ninth chapter. Sorry, third verse onwards. Let's begin with the prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Vadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vidvamsya Namaho Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Pashat Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratashe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurabhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we had begun the ninth chapter, the previous in the previous class. I just want if some of you can recollect, summarize you know, some of the points that we had discussed. That would be great, and then we'll begin with the 9.3. Any one of you like to share some points? You can raise your hand and go ahead with. Yeah, any one of you?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yes.
Prabhuji, in 9.1 we discussed that the word Trakshasyami Anasuyave. In that, like, Krishna is saying that I am speaking, and to Arjuna, who is non-envious. So Lord is saying that when one, like, he is speaking, so one should hear it. So Arjuna is now going to hear it. And one more point, Prabhuji, he told about that in the association of devotees, like in Purport, many times Prabhupada wrote that one will get the intelligence to understand the science of Krishna in the association of devotees. And if if a person is fortunate, then he will get association and then he will try to assimilate the knowledge. So, like that, this is one point.
Okay. And the Lord has also said Anusuyave because he's very sure that when I'll speak my glories ahead in the 9th and 10th chapter, he will not have a ill feeling towards me. He will accept it because he is not envious to me. Yes. Anybody else remembers something? Those were there in the last.
Also, we discussed that as it's similar to 7th chapter, Krishna, means Arjuna didn't ask any question for Krishna to begin the 9th chapter. Krishna by himself began explaining about the devotional service, and the beginning verses are basically the glories of the devotional service, but how it is
Mm.
the most confidential and the secret, the purest of all.
Yeah. So yes, yes. So he has spoken and he's studying the glories of the knowledge over here, which is non-different than the devotional service. Okay, very good. Yes, for anybody else, remember?
Prabhuji saw that what is knowledge, confidential knowledge, the difference between the body and soul.
Hmm. The confidential knowledge is what?
The difference between the body and soul,
Okay,
leading to
that is.
devotional service.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. So yes, the first six chapter, the second, third, chapter talks about the very confidential knowledge, and seventh and eighth chapter talks about more confidential knowledge, and ninth and tenth talks about the most confidential knowledge. That's what has been said. So the first, second, third, fourth chapter talks about self-realization, which is important, is a confidential knowledge. But that itself is not complete. It requires further, further of getting into devotional service, and specifically of this category of devotional service, which Krishna is going to speak. That is where, is about Ananda Bhakti. Over here, he's going to very exclusively going to speak. That is called as most confidential knowledge. Yes, sir. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share something over there?
Rosie, one point you told about that one has to give selfishness and envy. Then the knowledge becomes realized.
Yeah, proper rights over there. Yes. Selfishness and envy has to be given. Yes, yes, very good. Any more, if you remember? Okay. So we'll begin session. Tejasvu, you can ask, what has happened to others. Yogo Nashta Parantapa happens all the time, but it's only 15. Something they are facing problem or something, if they tell you, it will be helpful for them also.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes. So, okay, let's move ahead with the 9.3 onwards now. So Krishna over here in the 9.1 to 9.3 is actually speaking about is speaking about the same thing, about the glories of the knowledge that is about to reveal. So I have told you over there, if you remember the first verse, actually not I would say Baldev Vidyabhushan writes over there. Prabhupada writing Prabhupada is also mentioning the same thing, that the jnana vijnana sahitam, the first verse, the jnana vijnana sahitam, in that the Vigyan is the realization, and the Gyan, this Gyan is what Gyan is, a Bhakti Gyan itself. So when the first three verse, nothing else is glorified except the Bhakti. And because the Gyan means what, if you remember, we had discussed that Gyan is what is Gyan? Gyan is Gyan reveals something to us. So what reveals Krishna to us is Bhakti. So this Gyan actually is Bhakti, is nothing more than that, is nothing less than that. It is Bhakti itself. So Krishna is glorifying knowledge, through which he is revealed. Or you can say Krishna is glorifying the Bhakti itself, these three verses. So the second verse talks about Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, no Pavitram Idam Uttamam, right now. So, and then after speaking about that the bhakti is the king of all knowledge and is most confidential and is joyfully performed. That word is a very important word, where it says that it is joyfully performed. Joyfully performed doesn't mean, you know, in a light way it is performed. Joyfully doesn't mean that, he keeps on, like, you have seen in college the boys. Surely you would have seen it. I'm just saying it. The boys actually they sit behind in the class, and the teacher is teaching, but they keep on chit-chatting, he, how, he. And the foolish other fellows consider that boy to be very cool boy. you know जैसे अरे कितना मजा में है, मजा में नहीं है वो, he's a गधा. One way it is said, he's a duffer. So duffers they sit behind and they keep passing all those. So Krishna is not saying over here like that, joyfully perform means, oh, he likes to perform, he is enthusiastic to perform the devotion service. For him the bhakti is life. That's what it means. He joyfully performed. So then, after saying the second verse of Bhagavad Gita, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam. These are very important words. And we had read Prabhupada's purport. Each word was explained. Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam. Also, Su Sukham Kartum Avyayam. Right. So he very joyfully performed. After saying these adjectives he had used for Rajavedya, Rajaguhyam, he has said Pavitram, is Uttamam, Pratyakshavagamam, Dharmyam, Susukham Kartum, and Avyayam. Six adjectives he uses, for this, the king of the knowledge, the Rajavidya or the Bhakti, you say. You want to add the seventh also, there's a Rajaguhyam. So bhakti is guhya, is pavitram, is uttama, is prataksha agavamam, dharmyam, susukham, kartum, and avyayam. So that kind of a thing has been spoken, like we have in Chetodarpana Marjanam, the seven benefits of chanting Hare Krishna. So in a small way, Prabhupada Krishna has spoken the six or seven benefits over here of yeah, benefits, or you say, or its qualities. The qualities of bhakti has been explained over here. That it is it are no these that Rajaguhyam Pavitram Uttamam Prataksha Agamamam Dharmyam Susakum Kartum and Avyayam. So then after that, speaking that, he specifically says about those people who has no faith, you know, on this knowledge, on this bhakti. What about them? So what has been said is about them is very heavy. Krishna says over here that Ashraddhana. Okay, I have to share the screen. Okay, before I begin, I want to ask one question. How many of you are sitting with your own book, Bhagavad Gita? Tell me, raise your hand. None of you. Okay. 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 So five of you, so six of you, or I don't know how slowly hand is increasing. Probably you are bringing the book and then telling that a book. So my request is, although I show you the purport, but you should also read in that book and underline things, then make some kind of a notes. No, uh, somehow it is online session, but it should not become a session where in whichever way you crash land in this session and somehow you pass the session and you move ahead. Nothing else will get registered. So this is my request to you, and if you do it, it is well. And else I can also just speak the main themes of the purport, and you have to figure it out where is that in the purport and keep on underlying. That also I can do. But I'm showing you the purport, but but don't, uh, uh, but don't become lazy in opening the book and underlining and things like that. So let's begin. अश्रद्धधान पुरुष धर्मस्य परन्तप अप्राप्य मां निवर्तन्ते मृत्यु संसार वर्तमनि. Yeah, पढ़िए.
Translation. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Perfect.
Yeah,
So
so Krishna has said over here, sorry, Krishna has said very clearly over here, Ashraddhadhana Purusha, one who has no Shraddha in my knowledge, in my bhakti, Dharmasya Parantapaha, no, such people, they may be towards the process of religion, but aprapya mam nivartante, they don't obtain me. But okay, then what happens, sir? Nitya samsara vartmani, they keep on moving in the cycle of birth and death. But please remember, there are people who are dharmasya parantapa. Now this is something which is towards the process of religion. Parantapa, O killer of the enemy. Uh, they are Shuddhadhana. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Read now.
the faithless cannot accomplish this process of devotional service. That is the purport of this verse. Faith is created by association with devotees. Unfortunate people, even after hearing all the evidence of Vedic literature from great personalities, still have no faith in God. They are hesitant and cannot stay fixed in devotional service of the Lord. Thus, faith is the most important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that faith is the complete conviction that simply by serving the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, one can achieve all perfection. That is called real faith. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 4.31.14,
So what is this Chaitanya Charitamrita? What is very famous?
Krishna Bhakti Kaila Sarva Karma Krita hai.
Yeah, this is Shraddha. So Shraddha in one line is explained over here by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that if I am doing bhakti, nothing else is required. Now, just I'm making a statement now. Right now, Ganpati is going on. So many devotees also might, because of their situations in their own in their life, they might have to, also have Ganpati in their home, or you all have to might have to visit to your home. They may be saying, that is fine, but a problem when it comes, you know, when we feel, when some devotee is feeling that if I don't do that act of worshipping the demigod or this Chaturdashi, whatever is happening, oh, then it will be a dangerous thing, or I'll miss something in my life, or it may create some problems in my life. Then, then it is ashraddha. Although we may be practicing, we are practitioners, but this is also called as ashraddha. So one should not have a if one has feeling that, oh, maybe that demigod will be upset with me, and he may not award me something benefit which I would have got, and Krishna does not give so easily. So let me go and worship. चलता है, मेरे को पता है वो तो डेमिगॉड ही है, मुझे पता है, मैं उनको भगवान की तरह नहीं मान रहा। लेकिन लेकिन उसके पास भी पावर है। सो somewhere that feeling is there that सर्व कर्म कृत हो नहीं होगा, जाना ही पड़ेगा। That's our श्रद्धा। So uh, Prabhupada is very clearly writing in the first pink line, which I have pink highlighted points, highlight line which I have shown to you. The faith cannot accomplish this process. The faithless cannot accomplish the process of devotion service. But the faith is created by association with devotees. Unfortunate people are those who, after hearing so many times also that how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but still have no faith. And because in that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and these demigods are subservient, we don't lose anything by not by not worshipping the demigods. If we are just worshipping Krishna, nothing we lose. This faith one who does not have is unfortunate person because they are hesitant cannot stay fixed in devotional service of the Lord. This means they were doing bhakti, they were doing devotional service, but because they don't have such a faith, they won't stay fixed. They cannot stay fixed in devotional service of the Lord. Thus, faith is the most important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness. You know, and Prabhupada do writes in the NOI, the attitude is the most important thing for making advancement. Here, Prabhupada is writing, the faith is most important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness. In one way, it is the same. You know, read ahead. Prabhupada then quotes Yathataro Mood Nishachanendra. You know this. Now read.
Therefore, after reading Bhagavad Gita, one should promptly come to the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. One should give up all other engagements and adopt the service of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. If one is convinced of this philosophy of life, that is faith. Now, the development of that faith is the process of Krishna consciousness. There are three divisions of Krishna conscious men. In the third class are those who have no faith. Even if they are officially engaged in devotional service, they cannot achieve the highest perfectional stage. Most probably, they will slip after some time. They may become engaged, but because they haven't had complete conviction and faith, it is very difficult for them to continue in Krishna consciousness. We have practical experience in discharging our missionary activity that some people come and apply themselves to Krishna consciousness with some hidden motive. And as soon as they are economically a little well situated, they give up this process and take their old ways again.
Hmm.
It is only by
So Prabhupada is clear about, he's writing about now that on the basis of the faith, he is explaining Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. So these are adhikaris, Kanishta adhikari, Madhyam adhikari, and Uttam adhikari. Adhikari is different from the bhakta. So there is another definition of 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 Kanishta Bhakta, Madhyama Bhakta, and Uttam Bhakta. But this adhikar one who has, he eventually becomes, if he has adhikar of Kanishta, he can become up to, he can start practicing bhakti, to some degree, may be called as, so as his Shraddha will increase, his bhakti will also increase. So over here right now, Prabhupada is explaining according to faith because the word has been used ashraddhana in the verse. So if they are officially engaged in devotional service, they cannot achieve highest perfectional stage. They will slip. That's what has been said. And Prabhupada is writing that we are seeing people. So they may slip means what? They may become relaxed in a spiritual life, or they may give up the spiritual life altogether also. So no, because they don't have conviction, that Krishna consciousness is the thing and nothing else I require. And proper is Sarva Dharman Parityaja means what? And I will only do Krishna's service. Right now, that kind of a life, if somebody is living, is called is convinced of, and he has faith. And one who does not have, will have problems surely. Sure enough. So now Prabhupada talks about more about Kanishta and then Madhyama and Uttama also. Read, Prabhu.
it is only by faith that one can advance in Krishna consciousness. As far as the development of faith is concerned, one who is well versed in the literatures of devotional service and has attained the stage of firm faith is called a first class person in Krishna consciousness. And in the second class are those who are not very advanced in understanding the devotional scriptures, but who automatically have firm faith in the Krishna Bhakti or service to Krishna is the best course, and so in good faith have taken it up. Thus, they are superior to the third class who have neither perfect knowledge of the scriptures nor good faith, but by association and simplicity are trying to follow. The third class person in Krishna consciousness may fall down, but when one is in second class, he does not fall down. And for the first class person in Krishna consciousness, there is no chance of falling down. One in the first class will surely make progress and achieve the result at the end. And as far as the third class person in Krishna consciousness is concerned, although he has faith in the conviction that devotional service to Krishna is very good, yet he has not yet gained adequate knowledge of Krishna through the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes this third class person in Krishna consciousness have some tendency towards Karma Yoga and Gyan Yoga, and sometimes they are disturbed. But as soon as the infection of Karma Yoga or Gyan Yoga is vanquished, they become second class or first class person in Krishna consciousness.
Wait. So now Prabhupada is very clearly saying about Uttam Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Kanishta Adhikari. So, so third class person are Kanishta over here. And Prabhupada is saying, what is the problem with these people? They understand that, oh, bhakti is good. Nah. He has faith in the conviction that devotional process, the devotional service to Krishna is very good. But what he does, he with that also he will use karma and jnana, karma yoga and jnana yoga. Then means what? He will start also doing what he wants to do and will offer the result to Krishna, karma yoga. Then he will say this is bhakti, and that's how then people start slipping off. Because here we are talking about kevala bhakti. That's why I'm very clearly saying it over here. So these tendency comes in people, you know, even and that is why even after being a devotee, some people may move towards more of a piety. They start living a pious Krishna conscious life. Sometimes means what? There's no impious Krishna conscious life, but I'm more drifted towards piety, or I would say more drifted towards uh, Varna and Ashrama than more drifting towards surrendering to Krishna. So they add karma and agyan in that. And why? Because they don't have that Shraddha that Krishna Bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hoy. Right? Na? So that happens to people. And they eventually somehow, if they don't read scriptures thoroughly, Prabhupada Vani, they don't hear it very properly, then naturally the tendency is to drift. Because initially there's a lot of push and pull that happens on us by the mercy of our superior. Later on, it is left over to us because the superior gets busy with somebody else new. So then and surely we don't take it up to a lower path of papa karya. Then and bhakti looks to be very surrendering to Krishna, looks to be very high-fi, and an attachment develops, and then people mix the karma and agyan kind of a processes. You know, they infect their bhakti with these processes. And then what happens is this, what has been said for the third class devotee. Third class devotee is a very bad word. Devotee hai, but the third class person in Krishna consciousness is Kanishta. That's the Kanishta is a more refined word than saying third class, second class. So this is about, Prabhupada's mentioning of Ashuddha Dhana. Now, now read the pink portion and I'll show you 11th canto then.
Faith in Krishna is also divided into three stages and described in Srimad Bhagavatam. First class attachment, second class attachment, and third class attachment are also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 11th canto. Those who have no faith even after hearing about Krishna and the excellence of devotional service, who think that it is simply eulogy, find the path very difficult, even if they are supposedly engaged in devotional service. For them, there is very little hope of gaining perfection. Thus, faith is very important in the discharge of devotional service.
Yeah, so I'll show you 11th canto, second chapter, 45, 46, 47, where this pink portion which Prabhupada is saying, faith in Krishna is also in three stages based on attachment. No, so I'll show you this, and in short, because the purports are huge, maybe our whole class will go in that. I'll just show you, and then let's see how it goes. That is called as Prabhu. What I'm going to show you is about Uttam Bhakta Madhyama Bhakta and Kanishta Bhakta. Uh, so the attachment is defined, and attachment to Krishna happens in this way, at this level, or symptomized by these features. I hope you're able to see it. Or shall I make it bigger?
Little bigger.
श्रीहविरुवाच सर्वभूतेषु ह्यः पश्येद् भगवद्भावम् आत्मनः भूतानि भगवति आत्मनि एष भागवतोत्तमः. Right? Esha Bhagavat Uttamaha. One of you read, bro. Tejasvu, you should allocate fatafat.
Shri Havi said, the most advanced devotee can see within everything the soul of all souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he sees systematically everything in relation to the Supreme Lord and understands that everything that exists is eternally situated within the Lord.
So this is Uttama, no, Uttam Bhakta. He is so attached to the Lord that he sees everything. He can see within everything the soul of the. He can see everywhere the Lord in his Paramatma feature being over there. He sees it because he sees everything in relation with the Lord. So यो माम पश्यति सर्वत्र, है ना, सर्वम च मयि पश्यति, तस्य हम ना प्रणश्यन्ति स च मे न प्रणश्यति. So premanjana, he has premanjana. So he sees this way. Yo mam pashati sarvatra. Why? Because he has premanjana chudita bhakti vilochanena. And then Prabhupada writes about Uttam Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, that Prahlad could see everywhere. The father asked the Hiranyakashipu, do you know, very amazingly, Prabhupada speaks in one of the lecture of this on the seventh canto, ninth chapter, the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. Probably in 28 or 29th verse, he speaks in the giving a class on that verse. He says, over here, the first time Prahlad has said Hiranyakashipu as my father. And very amazing, you know why? Prabhupada says over there, just a side point. Why? Because why he has told, because उससे पहले केवल असुर वर्ण ही ना, है ना, बट यहाँ पे बोला है 7:9:28 to 29 में he is my father. Why? Because now he's been killed. Why? अरे किल मरने के बाद क्यों बोल रहे भाई तुम? क्यों? क्योंकि now he is touched by you, my dear Lord. Now he has become purified. So then he's telling he's to me my father. Before to the Prophet says in one of the class, I was amazed while speaking in that, while he's giving a class on that verse. He has said all injunctions to his Hiranyakashipu, but not the father. So anyhow, so the father asked, "Hey, तुम्हारे तुम्हारे भगवान इधर हैं क्या?" पिलर में बोले, हाँ सब जगह है, यहाँ पे भी is उत्तम अधिकारी, because he can see everywhere. उत्तम अधिकारी बोला गया है यहाँ पे जनरली. ये शब्द Prabhupada's disciples have used it, but over here the meaning is उत्तम भक्त. He's not अधिकारी. अधिकारी means अधिकार है. प्रहलाद महाराज को अधिकार नहीं था, he was उत्तम. So then in this verse, the Bhagavattamaha, the most advanced, indicate that those who are not gross, indicates that there are those who are not gross materialists, but who are not the highest devotees, right? Na? According to Bhakti one, those who cannot properly distinguish between the devotee and non-devotee, and who therefore never worship the pure devotee of the Lord, is known as Kanishta Adhikari. You know? So the devotee on the lowest stage of devotional service. Such Kanishta Adhikaris engage in worship of the Supreme Lord, now in the temple, but are indifferent to the Lord's devotee. So this, they are Kanishta Adhikari, or you say, or Kanishta Bhakta is the more proper word. So what they do? They cannot properly distinguish between devotee and non-devotee. So, and that is why they can't worship the pure devotee of the Lord. So what they will say for them, they will say that word same, Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Kinchana, ये उनको नहीं समझ में आता, वो बोलेंगे हाँ ये भी तो अच्छे लोग हैं, देखो कितने प्रेम से रहते हैं, कितने प्रेम से एक दूसरे के साथ रहते हैं, बस भगवान नहीं है तो क्या हुआ, है तो अच्छे, प्रेम से बोलते हैं, है ना। तो जहाँ पे और एक और भक्त, जो शुद्ध भक्त रहेगा प्रभुपाद की तरह, वो बोल रहा है, वो बोले रास्कल, फूल, वो बोले अरे क्या इतना बड़े बुरे शब्द बोलते हैं ये लोग, इतना क्या है, हमें जीने नहीं देते, बोलते सब सरेंडर करो, वो देखो हमारे वो लोग सब बोल रहे हैं सब ठीक है। So this is what he can't distinguish between a devotee and a non-devotee or a mixed fellow. He's a Kanishta, you know. So anyhow, so Prabhupada writes a lot about Kanishta Madhyama in this verse, in this particular. You whenever you get time, you can read the purport of this 11 to 45. And I will show you just because to show the huge purport it is. And then Prabhupada says over here, the Shihavir is continuing and is saying over Madhyam Adhikar, Madhyam Bhakta. Who is a Madhyam Bhakta? Ishware tad adhineshu balisheshu dveshatu dvi asato cha prem maitri kripa upeksha yah karoti sa madhyamaha. So read one of you, bro.
An intermediate or second class devotee called Madhyam Adhikari offers his love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in a sincere friend to all the devotees of the Lord, shows mercy to ignorant people who are innocent, and disregards those who are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So Kanishta Bhakta, he can't distinguish, you know. Whereas Madhyama Bhakta, he distinguishes very clearly, you know. So Kanishta, he can't distinguish, and that is why he does not worship pure devotee. Madhyama, he can distinguish very clearly who's what, and accordingly deals with them, right? No? So, and proper rights, I'll not get into it.
Prabhuji, what is the difference between Uttam Bhakta and Uttam Adhikari? Adhikari and Bhakta, is what is the difference? Kya?
A difference here. Let me come to the point. Here is about Kanishta, level 647. Archayam eva haraye pujam ya shraddada yahete na tad bhakteshu chaneshu sa bhakta prakrita smritaha. Now read one of you, bro.
A devotee who fully engages in the worship of deity in the temple but does not behave properly toward other devotees or people in general is called a Prakrata Bhakta, a materialistic devotee, and is considered to be in the lowest position.
Yeah, so this is about them. They are Kanishta Bhaktas. So this is the proper rights about Madhvacharya quoting proper disciples, they quote away Madhvacharya saying that the one of the lowest stage of devotion is to faithfully worship the deity in a temple but is not aware of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's actually pervading, all pervading. The same mentality. So what happens? They worship the deity in the temple, you know, but may go and do bhog in the outside world. No, because they don't see the Lord is over there in this also. Kanishta. This same mentality can be seen in the Western countries. Uh, this is proper disciples writing their own. This same mentality can be seen in the Western countries where people commit all type of sinful activities in their home and in the street, but they go piously go to a church and pray to God for mercy. Actually, God is in our is actually God is in our home. God is in the street. God is in our office. God is in the forest. God is everywhere. Therefore, God should be worshipped everywhere. The process of devotional service. But Kanishta is what he only knows God to be present in the temple. That too while he's doing deity worship, the deity. Other places are his place for bhoga. He's a Kanishta. That's very clear. So he's a Kanishta Bhakta. Clear na bro, all of you. So Madhvacharya states Madhyam Adhikari, a devotee in the intermediate stage, sees the Supreme Personality as the cause of all causes, and therefore he offers his love to the Lord. Such a devotee is a sincere friend of other devotees, is merciful to the ignorant, and avoid the atheist. This is about a Madhyama Bhakta. Although they have a general sense, I'm just reading to you something. so that you have a very clear idea. Now, although he does not have a general sense that everyone is ultimately meant to be the devotee of the Supreme Lord, and he tries to use everything in the service of Lord Krishna, aware that everything belongs to the Lord, and he may be bewildered by association with atheistic men. So he engages everything in the service of the Lord, what he can, and he knows that everything is to be used in the service of the Lord. He doesn't have bhoga mentality much. I won't say zero, but minimal. Uh, so he uses everything, but he remains far away from atheistic people because he has a fear that he should have a fear. You know. So then about Kanishta, you already read. Uh, Furthermore, but I'm just reading. These are very important. A Kanishta Adhikari or has no idea that the Supreme Lord has the power to exist outside the church or temple. Prophet is continuing the same. Further, being puffed up by his own ceremonial worship, Atmano Bhakta, the Kanishta cannot imagine that everyone is more pious or religious than he is. He is not even aware that other devotees are more advanced. No, that's his problem. So this is about, in short, I showed you about Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama, Bhakta. What is the difference between Adhikari and a Bhakta? Adhikari is one actually who can perform, who will with this Shraddha, he will perform which kind of a bhakti. So in practice, when somebody has in practice is puts into the bhakti, it gets into the service of executing of devotional service, then what level of execution of devotional service it does, that is called bhakta. And adhikari means what platform he has, on the basis of shraddha, so shastri thing. So jnana vijnana sahitam. So Gyan is you can say is a Shraddha on the Shastra. Vigyan is the execution of devotional service. So Vigyan, what kind of Vigyan he has, that defines what kind of a Bhakta he is, and what kind of a Shraddha he has on scripture, that kind of Adhikar he has. So these are two different connotation for the same person, but there can be a difference that one who may be an Uttam Adhikari may not be Uttam Bhakta. Uh, that is also to be he has a lot of faith, but his vigyan may not be like that. His execution may not be like that. So that's the difference between uttam adhikari and uttama bhakta, adhikari or bhakta.
Prabhuji, how to understand that one has the faith of Uttam Adhikari, but he is not executing?
Yeah, very simple. Because he has faith. He has faith on the shabda what is there, but he still has some lingering other thoughts, or desires in his mind which obstructs him.
And Prabhuji, Uttam Adhikari is not a pure devotee because he
No.
has other lingering.
He is not a pure devotee of the category of Uttam Bhakta, because Uttam Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ऐसे example. उत्तम भक्ता का एग्जाम्पल पांच रस में जो डिवोटीज है उनको भी बोला जाता है, बहुत ऊंचा लेवल हो गया उत्तम अधिकारी. And that is why, if you we had a discussion, the sabda paricha nishnatam, this is the qualification for being a guru. So guru is this. So he has shraddha. He can be a guru. That's what it said. Okay. So
Yes,
we,
Adhikari is based on Gyan and Bhakta is based on Vigyan.
yeah, you can say yes. NOD and Elantranto, there's a difference. In NOD also, when you read, we'll talk about, you will hear about Kanishta Madhyam Uttam. It is based on Shraddha, on Shastra. This is about execution of devotional process. So, so now Krishna has said, अश्रद्ध धाना, बिना ये लोग का बहुत गड़बड़ हो जाएगा, ये लोग तो आगे नहीं चलेंगे ज्यादा क्योंकि इनको श्रद्धा नहीं है. So श्रद्धा नहीं है, so they will have a problem. So ये so because because Krishna has said in the second verse, Raja Vidya Raja Guhya. Are then but these people won't be. The process is easy to follow. Sukham kartum avyayam, but not everybody will remain But then, but not everybody will follow it. Why? Different people have different Shraddha. And those who have no Shraddha, bhul jao. Those who do not accept the firm faith in devotion to me, though though its strength is well known in the scripture, and and these people, some people who are Shraddhanan people, they may treat those powerful statements in the scripture about bhakti to be as extra exaggeration, है ना? अरे कुछ ज्यादा ही बोला गया, ऐसा थोड़ी होगा। सर्वधर्मान परित्याग, ये क्या, सब छोड़ देंगे हम क्या? हैं? कुछ ज्यादा ही पब्लिसिटी किया है भगवान, ऐसा कैसे होता है? अ, सब छोड़ देंगे, धर्म कैसे छोड़ सकते हैं? अधर्म छोड़ना ठीक है, ये धर्म भी बोलते छोड़ देना, अ, बहुत ज्यादा है अश्रद्धान। So that's what it said. So they don't attain me. They perform, and even though they perform other practice to attain while ignoring bhakti, because they are not, they then they are not practicing bhakti very properly. They won't be able to practice also. Then Krishna says the fourth one. And now here he speaks about he starts speaking about his Aishwarya Gyan, where means, or you say Yoga Aishwaram. He starts saying from here, the fourth one onwards. So the first three are very important verses too. Not to minimize other verses, but they are very important because they talk about the importance of Krishna is glorifying bhakti and very clearly telling what what is the qualification which is required to perform this bhakti. So now the fourth one.
Uh,
Maya tatam. Ah, yes, Lord. Yes, yes.
uh,
Ask.
can you explain a little more about difference between Uttam Adhikari and Uttam Bhakta? Like you
Oh,
said,
okay.
Pralhad.
Yeah. uh, More than this. I have to open NOD then to show you where Prabhupada talks about uh, Prabhupada is mentioning about Uttam Adhikari. So Uttam Adhikari, and in short, I'll repeat to you. No, Uttam Adhikari is about what can see. Very simple rule logically. जिसको जैसा श्रद्धा है वो वैसा भक्ति लेगा, राइट ना? सो लेकिन अ, किसी को उत्तम श्रद्धा हो सकता है स्क्रिप्चर में, लेकिन वो बिगनर हो भक्ति में, ये हो सकता है ना? बट उसका जो गाड़ी है ना बहुत तेज भागेगा, जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना सिंपल, ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ, ज्ञानी इज द टॉप मोस्ट अमंग दीज फोर फेलोज। वाई? अरे जब वो लेगा, ऐसा नहीं कि वो भक्त है, ज्ञानी की थोड़ी भक्त बोलते हैं, राइट ना? इज नॉट अ भक्त, बट व्हेन ही विल टेक इट, ही विल गो एट वेरी फास्ट स्पीड, बिकॉज उसको और दुनिया में कुछ लेना देना नहीं है, इसका अटैचमेंट जीरो है। So same way, the person may have a Shraddha, maybe coming from the past life, or has Shraddha. Some people have Shraddha. भगवान ने बोला है, करेंगे। And some people are very skeptical. इतना भी कि अगर भगवान बोला जा रहा है ए काउडंग प्योर है, वो बोलते हैं कैसे प्योर है? तो उसके लिए एक एनालिसिस, एक आपको एक एक्सपेरिमेंटल, जो साइंस ने एक्सपेरिमेंट नॉलेज सम रिसर्च पेपर लगाया है कि काउडंग हैज मेडिकल ये आल्सो क्वालिटीज, एंटीसेप्टिक क्वालिटीज, वो पढ़ाना पड़ता है ये प्रूव करने के लिए कि काउडंग प्योर है। अंडरस्टैंड ना प्रूव? सो यू नो
Yes.
वी मे से दैट पर्सन टू बी वेरी लॉजिकल। हाँ बहुत लॉजिकल है उसको, अरे लॉजिकल ठीक है, लेकिन बेचारे का कोमल श्रद्धा है है ना? उसको शास्त्रीय उतना श्रद्धा नहीं है ना? माला कराने के लिए उसको माला कराने के लिए आप बोल दो यहाँ पे लिखा गया है, ये वर्ष में लिखा गया है, ये वर्ष में लिखा गया है, यहाँ पे पुराण में लिखा गया है, बोलेगा हाँ प्रूवन, करेगा। तो जिसका नहीं श्रद्धा है उसके लिए फिर उतना उतना नहीं है, तो उसके लिए आपको फिर वो हमारे भक्तों ने जो PhD रिसर्च किया है उस पर वो दिखाना पड़ता है ना? देखो भाई, जब आप करते हो ना तो जो 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 माइंड है ना, माइंड गोज इन अ रिलैक्स अलर्ट जोन। ये प्रूव हुआ है, तो बोलता है हाँ हाँ, ठीक है ठीक है अंतर, राइट ना। सो दोनों
Correct.
भक्ति लेंगे, दोनों भक्ति लेंगे। सी आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट ये सुनने के बाद आप केवल उन्हीं लोगों को पकड़ो जो लोग एक बार में ले ले। वो शायद लौकिक श्रद्धा भी हो सकता है, थोड़ा ये अलग है। हम किसी को छोड़ते नहीं, बट इतना जानो, जिसको श्रद्धा है वो ले लेगा, तो दोनों साथ में ही शुरू करेंगे। बट एक वेरी फास्ट ही विल गो, सेकंड विल गो स्लो स्लो स्लो। अंडरस्टूड ना प्रू? The one who might have a higher Shraddha but may be a beginner also in Bhakti. So that is why
Okay.
there's a difference. In layman language, I explained to you. This is what.
Yeah.
ठीक है ना?
Thank you.
हाँ.
Yes.
Any more, Prabhu? Any more? Okay. The fourth. मया ततम् इदं सर्वं जगत् अव्यक्तमूर्तिना मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि नाचाहं तेषु अवस्थितः. Krishna is speaking his Aishwarya Gyan. So, yeah, read.
By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them.
तो ये याद रखना, क्योंकि भगवान बहुत जल्दी अपने लैंग्वेज को पलटने वाले हैं। यहाँ पे वो बोल रहे हैं बट आई एम नॉट इन देम, राइट ना। बट भगवान बहुत जल्दी 2 वर्ष के दूसरे अभी से 9.4 9.1 9.6 भगवान बोलने वाले हैं आई एम नॉट इन देम। तो अभी बट वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हेन कृष्ण सेज बट आई एम, नो ही इज ओवर हियर सेइंग बट आई एम नॉट इन देम, ओवर देयर ही विल सी से दैट आई एम इन देम। नमत ना यहाँ पे है, ना चा मत स्थानी भूतानी, नो ओ मत स्थानी सर्वभूतानी यहाँ पे बोला है, वहां पे बोलेंगे ना च मत स्थानी सर्वभूतानी। सो बट आई एम नॉट इन देम, over here is saying mat sthani sarvabhutani. Prabhupada, okay, Prabhupada, okay, read the purport, I'll tell you what is the problem.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is say, Lord Shri Krishna's name, fame, pastime, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed.
So Prabhupada has begun this purport saying, quoting Atha Shri Krishna Namadi, no, this verse, ना भावेद ना भवेद ग्राह्यम इंद्रिय, इंद्रिय से भगवान को नहीं समझा जा सकता, लेकिन ये बिकॉज ही इज परे, पर सेवन मुखे ही जीवा दो स्वयं स्फुरतदा। ये बहुत कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी वर्स है। जो प्रभुपद ने कोट किया है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे भी भगवान कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी ही बोल रहे हैं। हाँ, मई ततम इदम सर्वम, है ना, बाय मी इन माई अनमैनिफेस्टेड फॉर्म दिस एंटायर यूनिवर्स इज परवेडेड, ऑल बीइंग्स आर इन मी, सब मेरे में है बट मैं उनमें नहीं। हाँ, ये थोड़ा कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी स्टेटमेंट है। तो प्रभुपद इसलिए इसको इस सेक्शन को योग ऐश्वर्यम बोला जाता है, ऐश्वरम बोला जाता है, where the Lord is showing his mystique opulence. So these are his inconceivable types of qualities. So he's beginning with this and then Premanjana Churita. It requires what? It requires Premanjana Churita Bhakti Virojana. And then Prabhupada says about read thus for people in general.
Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by material senses. This is indicated here by the word Avyaktamurtina. But actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him.
Hmm.
Yet one
Right?
should not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. For example, a king heads a government which is but the manifestation of king's energy. The different governmental departments are nothing but the energies of the king, and each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. That is a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists both in this material world and in the spiritual world are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies, and hence, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vistabhyam idam Krista. He is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies.
Hmm. So the Lord is saying, I am present everywhere, but people can't avyakta murtina. Jagad avyakta murtina, the Lord, I am not visible to them, although I am pervading everywhere, because through me only everything is sustained. Matsthani, sarva bhutani. I am everywhere, but uh, and Matsthani sarva bhutani means proper rights over here, that in me all living entities, are there. Na cham tesha avastitah, but I am not situated in them. But everything rests in me. And Krishna ahead will say, everything does not rest in me in the sixth verse. So this is a contradictory which he's going to speak. But over here, talking about this particular verse, uh, these now this section that we are going to talk from fourth to probably sixth or seventh verse, fourth to tenth number verse, is Krishna is actually the purpose of this knowledge which Krishna is giving about himself is that it to stimulate reverence and devotion towards him. So reverence and devotion, reverence in the sense, oh my Lord, what inconceivable power he has. How is it possible that the person the person rests on the things rests on him, but he is not in them. What it means. How is it so that something rests on him means what he's saying that this entire universe, I pervade the whole universe, you know, by my form. All entities are dependent on me, but I am not dependent on them. That's the meaning where Krishna is saying, I am not in them. I am completely detached. But this doesn't happen in this world. Whatever depends on us, we become attached to it. There is a different kinds of a dependence develops. Like a man actually maybe and maybe the he is the owner of the company, so the company depends on him. So everything depends on him. And do you think he's not dependent on the company? No, he's fully dependent on the company because he's attached to the company. कंपनी को लॉस हो जाए तो उसका हार्ट बीट ऊपर से नीचे जाता है, right or wrong? So he's attached in that way. But Krishna is over here saying, I am not attached. Yeah. This is his greatness. His greatness is inconceivable because it's in material world is unseen thing. No. The material world, whatever it is, we become attached to it because that's the nature. You see anywhere, even if the teacher is teaching, and the teacher and to the degree the student shows dependence on the teacher, he is very respectful. The teacher also becomes attached to him, and teacher also knows. जैसे कोचिंग में जो पढ़ा आप लोग जो कुछ लोग कोचिंग में पढ़ा आपको पता है अपना सैलरी कैसे आने वाला है जब ये बच्चा अच्छा परफॉर्म करेगा तब, राइट और रॉन्ग? अपने कोचिंग का नाम कब बढ़ने वाला है जब कुछ बच्चे टॉप रैंक में जेई में या नीट में सेलेक्ट हो जाएंगे. So the teacher also becomes a dependent on the. But Krishna is saying, things rests on me, but I am independent. I am unattached, not non-dependent on anyone. So this kind of a thing is unheard in the material world. That understanding that. So what happens is that we reverence towards the Lord increases, and devotion also ahead in other section you will see, because it will lead to the devotional increment, uh, because we'll understand, oh, the Lord is beyond everything. He's uncontaminated, he's uncontaminated by any modes of nature. So then naturally a devotee understands that he's the most purest. He has no dualities, so he develops devotion towards him naturally. So this the thrust of this entire section of 4 to 10th number verse is about developing reverence and attachment to the Lord. That's what has been said. Uh, so now, yeah, read the just a minute. We read the purport, or we have to read the purport? Ah, you read the purport, right? Right. So, so this is what is being stated over here, that though everything is pervade me, I am invisible to the senses, but I know avyakta, since I am the cause of the universe, you know, every living being and non-moving also is situated in me, matsthani, you know, I am their cause, he's very clearly saying, but I am not situated in all these. I do not pervade them. How, as a clay is present in its product apart, because I am completely, the clay is present in its product apart, but a clay is not dependent on the pot, right? Now, but pot is dependent on the clay. But is the clay dependent on the pot? No. Same way, the things, the beings are dependent on me, but I am not. Then that kind of a thing we can is Krishna is very clearly saying that this is remarkable. This is the Lord. This is remarkable power of the Lord. You know, because the whole universe is pervaded by Him in His Swarup Murtina, but He cannot be grasped by material senses. So then a devotee understands. If I want to grasp Him, understand Him, who is avyakta becomes vyakta for me, that the only way is through devotion. Right. So he understands that, and then that's how the devotee enhances his devotion and reverence towards the Lord. Bro, any question on this? Or any question in entire what we have discussed today? I'm I'm fine if you have. Else I'll take the last verse. Okay. Let's move towards the next verse. So the Lord has very clearly said that I am everything rests in me, but I am not in them. So then Krishna says over here, Nacha matstani bhutani pashme yoga aishwaram bhutabrin nacha bhutasto माम आत्मा भूत भावनः। आपको दिखा ये लाइन? यहाँ पे देखो पहला लाइन ही क्या बोल रहे भगवान, नाचा मत स्थानी भूतानि। हाँ, ये 5th नंबर है। अब प्रीवियस क्या बोला भगवान ने? मत स्थानी सर्वभूतानि। तो anyhow, read the translation.
Translation. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation.
So I just want to clarify what is this, the difference the Lord is saying over here. In the next verse only he has changed his point. He has changed his stand. Seems to be that he is saying, Baba, मैं तो कहीं नहीं हूँ. Everything rests on me, and over here he is saying, then nothing rests on me. How is it possible? Then on whom it rests? Somebody may say, and why you are giving a contradictory statement? So these are not contradictory statements, only it requires some more explanation. So yeah, so he is So he is saying apparently it's contradictory. You know, all beings are me, yet he says the opposite, that all beings are not in me. So this verse is called as Yoga Ishwaram, very clearly. This is why this section is also is Yoga Ishwaram, the Ishwaryam of the Lord, the opulence of the Lord. So, you know, uh, so what does it mean? What Krishna is very clear, this is my extraordinary yoga. Huh? But that you said things created by me are not within me. Okay. But no, but in the previous verse you said that everything is situated in you. And now you are saying nothing is situated in me. This is contradictory. How you say like that? Krishna is saying, this is my extraordinary yoga. Arjuna, don't get confused. You know, don't get confused. This is this is my yoga Aishwaryam. This is my inconceivable nature. What it means, Baba? What it means is this, that yoga means, Krishna is saying, see, by which something very difficult to accomplish is accomplished. So yoga Aishwaryam, yoga does refer here that Lord's body is endowed with inconceivable Shakti, and whose quality is that by his desire, you know, by his desire itself, everything is everything is fulfilled without any effort. So the Lord is clarifying over here. See, I maintain and protect all beings, but I am not situated in, or I don't mix with them at all. So in one way, why you're saying like that? So what is me? Because because what happens? I just desire in my mind, because my mind carries out all I just desire, and then the desire props up in my mind, and everything gets fulfilled. You know, mm, Mam Atma, my mind carries out their welfare, Bhuta Bhavana. I maintain and protect them by my extraordinary yoga. What is that yoga? Satya Sankalpa Shakti. I do not have to get into action. That's what we say. Tasya karanam, tasya na, tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. I have nothing to do. There's no work assigned to me. And everything just my desire, by my desire it's fulfilled. So in this way, the Lord is saying that, you know, see, everything rests in me, and or everything does not rest in me. Why? Because everything rests in me in one way, because yeah, I'm the person who is making it happen. If I withdraw it, nothing will happen. uh, my energies are doing it. But in one way, actually I'm not doing it, क्योंकि मैं just desire करता हूँ और हो जाता है. I don't have to, not like in today's, not like people in general over here. If they desire, anything happens, no, they have to get into action to do it. बट भगवान बोलते इधर कुछ मेरे को नहीं करना पड़ता. मेरी सारी शक्तियां डिजायर मात्र से समझ जाती है. मेरे को बोलने का भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ता, बुला के इधर आओ, ये कर दो. नो, आई डोंट हैव टू से आल्सो लाइक दैट. Just by my desire, they do it. So I will not read the purport right now over here, but I know will read the purport tomorrow of this verse. But this is the thrust, the main difference between what is not a contradictory statement, is the same statement. Only it is in very inconceivable, very inconceivable, because how केवल desire मात्र से हो जाता है. Hmm. So that's what the Lord is saying over here. So we end over here, bro. You have any questions? You hold it for tomorrow. We will begin for tomorrow. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.